Are you taking calcium every day, yet still dealing with weak bones or joints that crack and ache when you move? Or worse, have you already been diagnosed with osteoporosis or joint degeneration, even though you've tried to do everything right? If that sounds familiar, then this video might be the missing piece in your bone and joint health journey. Here's the truth. Calcium is essential, but it doesn't work alone. Think of building a house. You need more than just cement. Without bricks, steel, and a strong foundation, the structure will still collapse. Your bones are the same. They rely on a team of minerals working together to stay strong, resilient, and pain-free. And today on Golden Health, we'll introduce you to the top 8 most powerful minerals, each backed by science, for building stronger bones, supporting flexible, well-lubricated joints, reducing inflammation and joint stiffness, and slowing down age-related bone loss. You'll discover what each mineral does in your body, what foods contain them naturally, and how to combine them for maximum impact. These 8 minerals go far beyond calcium. Some you've probably never even heard of, but together they can change the way your body moves and feels every single day. If you're looking for a more natural, smarter way to care for your bones and joints, this video is for you. Let's get started. Calcium, the foundation of bone strength. When we talk about bone health, calcium is the first mineral that comes to mind, and for good reason. Approximately 99% of the calcium in your body is stored in bones and teeth, making it a vital structural component. It gives bones their hardness and strength and helps maintain bone density throughout life. But calcium is not just about bones. It also plays crucial roles in muscle contraction, nerve transmission, hormone secretion, and blood clotting. Because of these functions, the body will borrow calcium from the bones if blood calcium levels drop, even at the cost of bone integrity. Scientific studies have consistently shown that insufficient calcium intake is linked to increased risk of osteoporosis, especially in postmenopausal women and the elderly. The recommended dietary allowance, RDA, for most adults is around 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per day, depending on age and gender. However, more is not always better. Excessive calcium, especially from supplements, has been associated with kidney stones and, in some studies, potential cardiovascular risks. That's why balance and synergy with other nutrients, especially vitamin D and magnesium, is essential. Vitamin D helps absorb calcium in the intestines, while magnesium helps transport it into bones and keep it from accumulating in soft tissues. Best natural food sources: dairy, milk, yogurt, cheese. Small fish with bones: sardines, salmon. Leafy greens: kale, bok choy, collard greens. Fortified plant-based milks: soy, almond. In summary, calcium is the cornerstone of bone strength, but it must be part of a bigger nutritional picture to truly protect bones and joints in the long run. Magnesium, the silent partner in bone health. While calcium often takes the spotlight, magnesium is an unsung hero when it comes to bone and joint health. In fact, around 60% of the magnesium in your body is stored in your bones, where it plays multiple crucial roles. At the biochemical level, magnesium is a cofactor in more than 300 enzymatic reactions, many of which are directly related to bone formation and mineral balance. One of its most important functions is to activate vitamin D, which is essential for calcium absorption. Without adequate magnesium, even high calcium intake may be poorly utilized by the body. Moreover, magnesium helps regulate parathyroid hormone, PTH, a hormone that controls calcium levels in the blood. Imbalances in magnesium can disrupt this regulation, potentially leading to bone demineralization and increased fracture risk. Research published in journals such as Osteoporosis International and the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition suggests that low magnesium intake is associated with reduced bone density, especially in older adults. Magnesium deficiency has also been linked to increased inflammation, which may worsen conditions like osteoarthritis. The recommended dietary allowance, or RDA, for magnesium is about 310 to 420 milligrams per day, depending on age,
gender, and physiological state. Best dietary sources include nuts and seeds, almonds, pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, leafy greens, spinach, Swiss chard, whole grains, brown rice, oats, and quinoa, legumes, black beans and chickpeas, avocados, bananas, and dark chocolate. In summary, magnesium is not just a supportive mineral, it's a critical player in the bone-building process. Without it, your calcium can't do its job properly, making magnesium a mineral you absolutely shouldn't overlook.
Phosphorus, calcium's underrated partner. Phosphorus may not get as much attention as calcium, but it's every bit as important. In fact, about 85% of the phosphorus in the human body is found in bones and teeth, where it binds with calcium to form hydroxyapatite, the crystalline structure that gives bones their hardness. Phosphorus is the second most abundant mineral in the body, and it works closely with calcium to maintain bone strength, energy metabolism, and acid-base balance. It also supports cell membrane integrity through phospholipids and plays a key role in DNA and RNA synthesis. From a bone health perspective, phosphorus is essential during growth, bone remodeling, and repair. Without it, bones become soft, fragile, and prone to deformity, a condition known as osteomalacia in adults. However, excessive phosphorus, especially from processed foods and soda, can become problematic. High phosphorus intake combined with low calcium levels may stimulate the release of parathyroid hormone, PTH, which increases bone resorption and reduces bone mass over time. This imbalance is particularly concerning for older adults and people with kidney disease. The recommended dietary allowance, RDA, for phosphorus in adults is approximately 700 milligrams per day, which most people meet easily through diet. The real challenge is balancing phosphorus with adequate calcium and magnesium. Best natural sources include protein-rich foods, chicken, turkey, beef, fish, salmon, tuna, sardines, legumes, lentils, chickpeas, black beans, dairy, milk, yogurt, cheese, whole grains, oats, and quinoa. In summary, phosphorus is not the enemy, but it must be balanced. When consumed in the right ratios with calcium and magnesium, it plays a foundational role in building and maintaining healthy bones for life.
Zinc, the repair mineral for bones and joints. Zinc is often associated with immune function, but it also plays a vital role in maintaining healthy bones and joints. Although found in smaller quantities than calcium or phosphorus, zinc is essential for bone formation, remodeling, and repair. At the cellular level, zinc supports the activity of osteoblasts, the cells that build new bone, and helps regulate osteoclasts, the cells that break down bone. This dual role is key in maintaining a healthy balance between bone growth and resorption. Without adequate zinc, bones may become brittle, slow to heal, and more prone to degeneration. Zinc is also crucial for collagen synthesis, which forms the protein matrix that minerals attach to when forming bone. In joints, this collagen is a major component of cartilage, providing cushioning and flexibility. Several studies have linked low zinc levels to reduced bone mineral density, delayed bone healing, and even increased risk of osteoporosis, especially in the elderly and individuals with chronic inflammatory conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. Additionally, zinc is a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agent. It helps reduce oxidative stress in joint tissues, which is important in managing age-related joint degeneration and inflammatory joint disorders. The recommended dietary allowance for zinc is approximately 8 milligrams per day for women and 11 milligrams per day for men. Best food sources of zinc include animal-based, oysters, beef, lamb, pork, chicken, plant-based, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, cashews, chickpeas, and lentils, fortified cereals, and whole grains. In summary, zinc is a critical mineral for both bone strength and joint health, supporting tissue regeneration, reducing inflammation, and enhancing the structural integrity of your musculoskeletal system.
Manganese, the enzyme activator for joint and bone integrity.
Manganese is a trace mineral, meaning your body only needs it in small amounts, but its role in bone and joint health is disproportionately large. At the core of its function, manganese acts as a cofactor for several enzymes involved in the synthesis of bone matrix components, particularly proteoglycans and glycosaminoglycans. These substances are vital for building and maintaining cartilage, the smooth tissue that cushions joints and supports mobility. Additionally, manganese is required for the production of superoxide dismutase, MNSOD, a powerful antioxidant enzyme that helps protect bone and cartilage cells from damage caused by oxidative stress and inflammation. This function makes manganese especially relevant in the context of osteoarthritis and age-related joint wear. In the skeletal system, manganese contributes to bone development and mineralization during growth and repair, supporting collagen formation, which serves as a scaffold for bone mineral deposition, and working synergistically with calcium, magnesium, zinc, and copper in maintaining skeletal integrity. Although manganese deficiency is rare, suboptimal intake may impair bone formation, slow fracture healing, and exacerbate joint deterioration over time. The adequate intake for manganese is around 1.8 milligrams per day for women and 2.3 milligrams per day for men. But needs may be slightly higher in older adults or those with inflammatory conditions. Best dietary sources include whole grains, brown rice, oats, quinoa, nuts and seeds, hazelnuts, pecans, and flax seeds, leafy greens, spinach, kale, fruits, pineapple, raspberries, blueberries, beverages, green tea, and black tea. In summary, manganese plays a supportive yet indispensable role in building strong bones and maintaining resilient, well-functioning joints, especially in the fight against inflammation and cartilage breakdown.
Copper, the connective tissue protector. Copper may not be the first mineral you associate with bone health, but it plays a critical supporting role in maintaining the strength and flexibility of both bones and joints. Biologically, copper functions as a cofactor for several enzymes, the most notable being lysyl oxidase. This enzyme is responsible for cross-linking collagen and elastin, two essential proteins that form the structural framework of bones, cartilage, tendons, and ligaments. Without adequate copper, this cross-linking process is impaired, leading to weaker connective tissues and reduced bone resilience. Copper also has significant antioxidant properties. It forms part of the enzyme superoxide dismutase, CUZNSOD, which protects bone cells and joint tissues from damage caused by free radicals. This is especially important in chronic inflammatory conditions, such as osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis, where oxidative stress accelerates tissue breakdown. Furthermore, copper supports the development of blood vessels, ensuring proper nutrient and oxygen delivery to bone and joint tissues. Poor vascularization can impair bone repair and slow cartilage regeneration. Though copper deficiency is relatively rare, it can occur in people with malabsorption syndromes, long-term zinc supplementation, which competes with copper, or diets lacking in variety. Deficiency has been linked to bone fragility, joint pain, and anemia. The recommended dietary allowance for copper is about 900 micrograms or 0.9 milligrams per day for adults. Best dietary sources include organ meats, liver, especially beef and lamb, nuts and seeds, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, and cashews, whole grains and legumes, dark chocolate, and mushrooms. In summary, copper is a small but mighty mineral that reinforces the structural integrity of bones and joints by strengthening connective tissues and protecting against oxidative damage.
Boron, the bone hormone regulator. Boron is a trace mineral that often flies under the radar, yet research increasingly recognizes it as a key modulator of bone metabolism and joint health. One of boron's most important roles is in the regulation of steroid hormones, including estrogen, testosterone, and vitamin D, all of which significantly impact bone strength. For instance, estrogen deficiency is a major contributor to postmenopausal osteoporosis. Studies have shown that boron can help maintain optimal estrogen levels, potentially reducing bone loss in aging women. Boron also influences the metabolism of calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, helping the body retain these essential minerals rather than excreting them through urine. This retention is vital for preserving bone mineral density. In addition, boron may have anti-inflammatory effects. Emerging evidence suggests it can help reduce levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines and enzymes associated with joint degeneration, such as those seen in osteoarthritis. Some small clinical trials have shown modest improvements in joint stiffness and pain with boron supplementation. Although there is no official RDA for boron, most studies suggest that an intake of 1 to 3 milligrams per day appears beneficial and safe for adults. Best dietary sources of boron include dried fruits, prunes, raisins, dates, fresh fruits, apples, pears, grapes, avocados, nuts, almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts, legumes, and leafy greens, red wine and coffee in moderate amounts. In summary, boron may be required in small quantities, but its impact on hormonal regulation, mineral retention, and inflammation control makes it an important ally in maintaining strong bones and healthy joints, especially as we age.
Silicon, silica, the bone matrix architect. Silicon, often referred to in its dietary form as silica, is a trace mineral that plays a foundational role in the early stages of bone formation and the maintenance of connective tissues. Though required in smaller amounts than calcium or phosphorus, its impact on bone integrity is increasingly recognized in scientific literature. One of silicon's primary functions is to stimulate collagen synthesis, the protein framework upon which calcium and other minerals are deposited. Without sufficient collagen, bones may become mineralized but brittle and prone to fracture. Silicon also enhances the cross-linking of collagen fibers, improving the elasticity and resilience of both bones and joints. Studies suggest that silicon supports the differentiation of osteoblasts, bone-building cells, and increases the rate of bone mineralization, especially during growth, recovery, or age-related bone loss. In joints, silicon contributes to the health of cartilage, tendons, and ligaments, all of which rely on strong collagen structures. Although there is no established RDA for silicon, observational studies have found that daily intakes of 20 to 50 milligrams are associated with improved bone mineral density, especially in premenopausal women and older adults. Best dietary sources of silicon include vegetables, cucumbers with skin, celery, green beans, whole grains, oats, barley, brown rice, herbs, horsetail, nettle, often found in herbal teas or supplements, beer and mineral water, depending on silica content, bananas, and root vegetables. In summary, silicon is a quiet yet critical contributor to skeletal health. By supporting collagen production and mineral deposition, it helps ensure that bones are not just dense, but also flexible, resilient, and resistant to damage. As you've seen, strong bones and flexible joints aren't built by calcium alone. It takes a smart balance of 8 essential minerals, from magnesium and zinc to boron and silica, each playing a unique role in building, nourishing, and protecting your skeletal system. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with loved ones, especially those over 40, and subscribe to Golden Health so you won't miss our next videos on natural health, nutrition, and aging well. Are you already taking any of these minerals? Or perhaps you discovered one you've never heard of before? Drop us a comment below. We love to hear your experience and questions. Let's stay strong, stay active, and stay healthy together.